Yes, everyone, what's going on? Welcome to another episode of the Two British Nerds. What are you saying?
Yeah, I'm good, man. How are you?
Right, man. Chilling, man. Avoiding today's tube strike.
Yeah, I got hit by it. It took me 3 hours, 2.5 hours to get to work this morning, and then it took me just over 3 hours to get back. A majority of the journey was walking.
Did you
So
see
there you go.
the what was it? The queue in for the buses in what was it, Victoria?
Yeah, I saw in the newspaper.
Yeah, it was looping. It was like someone going to a concert. It was like a snake. It was going. It was a zigzagging and zigzagging.
Yeah, I guess in those areas people like to queue up. Where I was, where no one's
Yeah,
queuing up for no one. It's just a bunch of people just crowded.
I'm lucky I was off work today. Yesterday I made it because I finished work at 6, and
Yeah, you made it.
someone told me that the it started around 4 o'clock. So I took my time. I was like, all right, so I'm gonna be walking home or whatever. So I left work around like 15 past or 20 past. I realized that it was still the train was still running, so I just jumped on the closest tube. So I
Yeah,
mean,
they try to tell people to like leave.
early.
Yeah, leave early. I mean,
Yeah.
like, I normally finish work at 5:30, but even I left early. I left like around 3, and it took me that long to.
Yeah.
So I think everyone had the same idea.
Alright, alright. But yeah, well, boy, at least it finishes today. Actually, it's finished already, so tomorrow it's all uh, all good, man. So yeah, let's get stuck into this today's show, bringing you some new news as usual. Starting with something small. So this is something that I was looking forward to for a long time. So Sherlock comes back. If you people don't know about Sherlock, you have Cumberbatch playing Sherlock and Martin Freeman playing Watson. British show, very good show. Three episodes a year, and it always pops off. It's one of the biggest shows, I would say. The following is very good. But yeah, it's back with a Christmas special this Christmas. So this episode won't be tied into any of the previous series. It's actually set in late Victorian times. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. And if you go into the Sherlock, the official Twitter page, you'll see the picture they've tweeted. So it looks pretty nice. I'd love to see what they're gonna do with it. I do love Sherlock. Talking about Cumberbatch, he's everywhere. You know, he's done Sherlock. He's dabbled himself into Marvel. He did The Hobbit. He's been everywhere. So now it's just crazy to see what he's gonna do next. But yeah, I like him as an actor, man. Like I said, he's just like multitask, man. He goes everywhere and anywhere. So he's around, man. He floats around. So yeah, nice to see him back wearing that hat in this year's Christmas special of Sherlock. So that's for all you Sherlock fans. If you don't know about the show, then check. I believe it's still available on is it BBC.com, where you can actually still view it. If not, buy it on DVD. Or if you've got popcorn time like myself on the Mac, then you can just watch it for free. But yeah, that's Sherlock. Next, finally, after 18 years of waiting, Dragon Ball Super aired. So what do you think of the first episode?
Yeah, I thought it was a good episode. It was a nice little episode, a nice little catch up on all our favorite characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was good, man. I was looking forward to it. I got a bit confused at the end because, actually, you know what? I'm never gonna spoil it for people because I know a lot of people haven't seen it out there. So I'm never gonna go into it. What I liked about it was like a soft introduction into what's gonna happen, I guess, in the next episode of Dragon Ball Z. I believe there's gonna be over 100 episodes, and it airs I think it's every Sundays now. But it's set literally after the Buu saga. but it's set in the middle of Battle of the Gods. That's where it confused me until I kind of got the drift of it. So it's set as Lord Beerus in the
You've
sense
seen
wakes
Battle of
up.
the Gods, right?
Yeah, that's why I got baffled. But then when I just thought about it, I kind of understood where it's set. It's set like in the middle of before the big fight, obviously between him and Lord Beerus. So for you Dragon Ball Z fans, watch it. I'm actually happy this is out because I never really when I watched GT, I wasn't really a fan of GT. For me, I found it was a bit weak. For me,
I'm one of those fans that really enjoyed GT. I loved it. I mean, I really liked him. I mean, the Golden Ape, remembers that baby. No, he was a sick villain. He just came to Earth and
mashed everyone up.
mashed everyone up, and Goku turned Super Saiyan 4. That was wicked, man. I even enjoyed the space battles, and there was a lot of good things in that.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people were kind of annoyed on it, but I guess when I was watching it, I was such a Dragon Ball Z fanboy. I was kind of secluded in my own little Dragon Ball Z world, and I was just taking it as it came.
It was alright. I just was really just fond of the storyline, and I guess they did so much they couldn't really do anything else. But I really hope in Dragon Ball's the new series of Dragon Ball Super that they actually make Piccolo and someone like Krillin a lot more stronger than they were previously. I think Piccolo needs a big upgrade.
I think like they sort of already passed that. I mean, Piccolo's gotten as strong as he could. That was during the Cell arc. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, with Boo, no one was really up to Boo's level. It was a team effort to take him out.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, I guess so.
so I guess they're not really as strong. There's not really that much of a difference between Piccolo and them, and Goku and everyone, I guess.
Well, power level wise, obviously Goku is stronger than the majority of them, but I know what you're saying. It's I guess they couldn't really. It's true. I guess Piccolo has gone stronger. He's actually reached his maximum, but hopefully they'll do something in this where they'll introduce something new where they can both reach certain like.
A God Namekian. Yeah, that'd be wicked.
Technically, if everyone that's watched Battle of the Gods, right, that means technically, right, well, it is that Goku is stronger than Broly now. If he's reached that mode,
Possibly. I mean, some people argue that the movies ain't canon. Some people are canon.
Yeah, it's true. Because when I watched the first episode of Dragon Ball, I was like, okay, it's not tied in. It's set just before, in the middle, obviously, Battle of the Gods. So technically, there isn't, like a super God saying in a way. But there is. It's a bit mad. You'd have to watch it. I believe it is. I can't remember.
So what's gonna happen? Are they gonna, once the Return of F comes, is that gonna cross over? Is there gonna be like a little time jump in Dragon Ball Super, or does it end when the Frieza film comes out? Do you know?
I don't know because Battle of the God was before before Frieza, right?
Yeah, it's before Frieza. No, it is. You're right.
Yeah, because if you've seen it, then you see Vegeta goes super God mode in there as well. He goes, he changes.
Of course, Goku to Super Saiyan God. It's not Saiyan God, Super Saiyan.
Yeah.
God.
So it's mad. So technically, it's mad because they're messing about with the timeline really, because in that they're kind of more friends with Lord Beerus, but then when you're watching the episode, it's not really the case because it's set in the middle of Out of the Gods. Like it's set before the major fight. So
I was a bit confused because I didn't know. I mean, what if it wasn't set? What if it is set after the Battle of the Gods?
It's not, because if you realize, I don't want to spoil it for everyone. It's the ending of it, right? when he tells her where he's gonna go.
Yeah, I guess so.
So I think it's set. It's set when Lord Beerus wakes. Or he's woken up, but he hasn't got to the point of where he's come across or told Wiz about Goku.
I mean, because what I liked about the episodes, because the build up of something sinister coming, but
Yeah.
they sort of implied that sinister thing that's coming is Lord Beerus. But I just thought, maybe,
Someone else.
yeah,
From what I can see, Lord Beerus will take out Goku, and the Wiz will take out Goku. Like pretty much now he's the strongest person in that universe. The Wiz, he's the strongest one out of all of them. But yeah, that's Dragon Ball Z, man. Super. Watch out for the merchandise to come out. It's gonna be hectic. But yeah, I like the show. Sorry, episode. I'm looking forward to next week's episode, and I'll be watching it. Yes, I am watching it before it comes out. I've always wanted to watch Dragon Ball Z with the actual Japanese version, as opposed to watching the American version. But yes, it comes out early, obviously in Japan, so I'll be watching it with the subtitles.
yeah. I mean, if you want to watch like the old school Dragon Ball Z, you can watch Dragon Ball Kai. I mean, that came out in Japanese first before.
Yeah, and it's
But
shorter than Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, it's really short, but it's quite good.
Yeah, watch it. Right.
Like they go through like three episodes of the original stuff in one episode. That's how quick it goes.
For real, man.
It's amazing.
It was quick. Next up, you probably will know more about this. Naruto movie. It debuted at the New York Comic Con, and it airs in Japanese theaters August the 7th.
Yeah. I'm a huge fan of Naruto, the series. Yeah, this is Boruto. Obviously, everyone knows about his son Boruto. Saying that the Naruto the movie before this one that's coming out, I haven't seen. A lot of people haven't seen it either because they haven't released the Japanese dub English sub version. They have a Korean dub English sub version, and yeah, it's really hard to watch.
Yeah.
So we're just playing the waiting game for that one.
But
But yeah, the new Boruto movie, that's going to be deep. So all you Naruto fans, be excited.
go watch it. Don't download. Go and watch it. Watch it, guys. The fizz. Next up, some movie news. A certain summer wants to have their own solo movie. So Halle Berry, sorry, my bad. She said that she wants to do a Storm solo. Hello.
Yeah, what happened?
Oh, did I cut up? All right. Let me just repeat myself. I think my connection just went AWOL. I was saying Halle Berry said that she wants she would be up for doing a Storm movie. And when she was asked about it, she said, "In a heartbeat, I would love to do a Storm movie. I love the character through and through. So if that ever became an opportunity for me, if it's before I'm 65 years old, I would absolutely do that." I don't know.
Of course you would.
She would do it, obviously, Storm and whatnot. But I don't know. Do you think that Do you think that Storm deserves a solo movie?
Of course she does. But I don't think Halle Berry should take the role though. But yeah, of course she does. The Storm.
Storm is a sick character. I love they do the origin story with her. What was it? With her son as well. That'd be something something nice to do. But yeah, it'd be kind of cool to see Storm. I would say they recast her and set it. Imagine they set it like as a teenager. That'd be nuts. Her as a kid.
Well, the the Age of Apocalypse movie is coming out, so you're gonna get
Time jump.
well, they already cast Storm. It's
Oh
gonna
yeah.
be so I forgot her name, but it's the girl that played the Aaliyah
Okay.
sort of movie.
But yeah, people. That's what she wants. She wants to be Storm again. Um, we'll see if that happens. Next up, well, one of my favorite movies is actually becoming a comic book, and this is probably a comic book that will sell out straight away, and that is Back to the Future: Untold Tales. So it comes. The first issue comes out in October. It focuses on basically on what happened before the trilogy. So it kind of tells you. It kind of goes into when Doc and Marty actually meet and what happens then, and then it jumps forward to see what happens after. But what's nice about this is the co-writer Bob Gale, who who was a co-writer of Back to the Future 2, is actually going to be joined by the writers John Barber, who does Transformers, and Eric Burnham, who does Ghostbusters. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to Back to the Future because obviously I love the movie, man. The movie's epic. Also, they said the anniversary, is this year as well, in October. So you're gonna see a lot of Back to the Future comics, merchandise. Everything is gonna come this year. It's gonna be a very, very, very big event. So if you're a Back to the Future fan, pick up issue 1 now this October.
Yeah, we were talking about it just recently.
Yeah, for
Um,
real.
and obviously, I prefer it to well, I obviously prefer it to be a comic than be a you know what I mean, a TV show, a reboot TV movie or something.
Yeah. The director of Back to the Future, and I forgot his name. He did say that there will not be a reboot or a part 4 of Back to the Future as long as I live. So sat the question for a very, very long time, and I don't, leave the movie as it is, 1, 2, and 3. Cool. We don't need a reboot or a fourth one. Who else? Marissa Tomei, if I pronounce that right, has been cast as Aunt May, Marvel's Spider-Man movie, but they're saying she might actually make an appearance, maybe in Civil War. She's actually the youngest person to be casted as Aunt May, which kind of makes you think that if obviously Peter Parker, he's been cast the young as well, so it kind of in a way makes sense they have a young aunt in a way, depending on the age gap. But yeah, she's been casted for Aunt May. What do you think of her being casted?
I still don't really care. This whole Peter Parker thing, Spider-Man. I'm just like whatever they want to do.
Yeah, honestly, I know you're obviously you want to see another maybe Ultimate Spider-Man, but oh yeah, I just want to know how they're casting a very, 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 very young Aunt May. Should be interesting. Um, I'm not really fussed about it, to be honest, because she, she's a big role. Obviously, she's a big influence on his life. It's not really a biggie. Um, Another big casting for Marvel is Elodie Young cast as Elektra for Daredevil. She looks pretty cool as Elektra.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's weak. I think that's good. Getting Daredevil in, getting Elektra in the Daredevil series. So that's even more good stuff with
The
of course,
Punisher.
Punisher coming in.
Yeah, man. If you people haven't seen season 1, you need to watch season 1 of Daredevil because it is nuts. Totally nuts. So watch it. if it was a movie, it would literally be 15 or 18 if it came out. I'm really looking forward to Iron Fist when that comes out. But yeah, check out Daredevil and check out yeah, I'm sorry about that. Check out Daredevil season 1. You must see it. It's pretty deep. Next up, there was obviously, my bad. Um, we all know about basically Civil War, Cap and Iron Man going head to head, and Spider Man being obviously so-called neutral and whatnot. But everyone wanted to know basically where the Black Panther stands in Civil War because he will be making his cameo there. So Kevin Feige came out and said, in the case of Civil War, we need a third party. We need a character who wasn't on either Captain America or Iron Man's side, which is why we went. That way. We're doing a Black Panther movie, but it would actually be smart to have him fill the role we need in Civil War and introduce him here first. So they're like if you read further in the article, they're keeping him as a neutral party in Civil War, which kind of makes sense in a way because you need to have one person that, so I guess is you know, seeing both sides. So yeah, I'm actually excited just to see the Black Panther, in Civil War. Man, what do you think? Seeing him first, not seeing him on stage.
Yeah. That's I'm so excited about Civil War and Black Panther. Those two movies I'm the most excited about.
Oh yeah, actually, bringing up Civil War, another article came out. The president of the CEO of Marvel, I believe it's is it Isaac? I can't remember his last name. But back then they weren't actually going to renew Robert Downey Jr.'s contract, and the reason was his contract apparently was so high. So his contract is 80 mil. So in a sense, he got like 40 mil for Age of Ultron. He's getting another 40, I say, for Civil War. But I think it was Kevin Feige that kind of smoothed things over. And so they kept Robert Downey Jr. in Marvel. But they did say that at the end of the article that regarding Civil War, they'd be hitting minimum like $1 billion anyway in it. So I guess the money's made back. But I was like, wow, man, like it's a big contract, And again, he's a big star, so boy, it's nice to see that he's actually still doing his thing in Marvel with the rest of the cast. Some small news: Doctor Strange, Rachel McAdams, has reportedly been offered a lead role in Doctor Strange. If she is offered the role, I believe she will play Doctor Strange's in the comics. I believe she is Strange's apprentice, who he eventually, I guess, they fall in love with. He falls in love with her. But if that's the case, she might play an apprentice. She's actually the son of the son. She's actually also the daughter of Dormammu, which is nuts. So I'd like to see which way they go with Doctor Strange. But yeah, man, I'm looking forward to Doctor Strange, man. Looking forward to it. Pretty cool. New pictures have emerged of the Evil Dead series. So it's called Ash versus the Evil Dead. If you don't know what the Evil Dead is, please just go Google, watch it online, or even buy the DVD. It's got comedy, horror, gore, and blood. It's also directed by Sam Raimi, who did the first 3 Spider-Man movies. The series is out sometime this year. If you enjoy reading comic books or watching TV shows like The Walking Dead, you probably will actually like The Evil Dead. Got more mini news. Tom Holland, who has been cast as Spider-Man, has been set. He's been getting ready to hit the gym to get in shape up for Civil War and his Spider-Man movies. Also have another interview with Ryan Reynolds, who says he won't play another superhero role after Deadpool. He says that he says he wants to do a Deadpool 2 movie also, but only the fans obviously are supportive when they want it. He says in his interview he did say, because he's done obviously superheroes before, he goes, I'm kind of, I'm over that. So I'm looking forward to doing other things, I guess. What do you think of what's your take on the Deadpool movie?
Yeah, I'm really, really excited about Deadpool movie. It looks like Ryan Reynolds is excited about it as well. He keeps making jabs at Green Lantern though, which is weird, but
Yeah.
you know what I mean. So,
It must have messed him around.
well, he was like, it's funny. He's just trying to win points. So I'll give him that. He doesn't want that. He doesn't want the Ben Affleck syndrome where everyone's still kind of moaning about him playing Batman.
Yeah, it's funny because in the interview, she said to him, would you play Batman? And he was like, nope. That's not me. But yeah, I guess you're right. The fans will probably think if Green Lantern was a very poor movie, then they're thinking that Deadpool basically is also. But that movie's gonna be nuts, from one thing that I've been hearing, they're keeping his nutty personality true to the comics. But yeah, rated R, so hopefully it'll be nice and gory, because you can't have a Deadpool movie without a bit of violence in there. It has to be there. All right, movie news again. Alvin and the Chipmunks have another movie. This one is called Alvin and the Chipmunks Wild Road Chip. The trailer's out. Please check it out because it's funny. I used to watch Alvin and the Chipmunks years ago, the cartoon. I loved it. So yeah, man, if you're a Chipmunk fan, the movie's for you. Also, first look at the Ecto 1, which is basically the car they used in the Ghostbusters movie. This one looks nothing like the old one. It just looks like a rundown car. But then again, maybe because the way it's set, maybe the way the design of the car is, maybe the movie's set maybe in the past. Who knows? But that's Ghostbusters. And you probably like this because you're a fan of this movie. Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man Tell No Tell has finished filming. So I'll give you a synopsis of the movie. It says, in Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man Tell No Tales thrust into all new adventure. A down on his luck, Captain Jack Sparrow finds the winds of ill fortune blowing even more strongly when deadly ghost pirates, led by his old nemesis, the terrifying Captain Salazar, escape from the Devil's Triangle, determined to kill every pirate at sea, including him. Captain Jack's only hope of survival lies in seeking out the legendary trident of Poseidon, a powerful artifact that bestows upon its bestower total control over the seas. Jack Sparrow. You gonna watch it?
Maybe I sort of fell out of love with Pirates of the Caribbean since the
third one, yeah, fourth one.
I guess the second one, but the third one was okay, but like the fourth one was horrible.
The fourth one for me, because I watched it with you guys. It kind of dragged, but the reason I love Pirates of the Caribbean, I just love I like the character that is Jack Sparrow. He's nuts. He's just a very, very unpredictable character. I'll be watching it. Anything that has something to do with Poseidon, mythology and stuff, man, I'm all over it. So I'm definitely gonna watch it. Yeah, but that's finished filming. Have you seen? They've also launched. I don't know if you know about it. The Goosebumps trailer. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't.
Do you remember the TV show?
Yeah, I remember. I heard they were making the.
Yeah, watch the trailer. It looks pretty funny. It's funny, but it looks really good. So that's out as well. basically, what happens in the trailer is I can't remember the guy's name, but the writer that wrote all the Goosebumps books basically has all these books basically locked up um, in his house, and then these two kids hear one of the girls screaming, so they go in and they see the Goosebump books, and they open one of the books up, and then they all come alive. So all the books somehow manage to get open, and all the characters in there start running around causing havoc around the street. So they have to go and find all of them and put them back into the book. But the trailer looks good, man. There's a lot of comedy in there, which is cool. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to this also. Like this next announcement, I've been waiting for this for a very long time. So Warren Ellis is going to be writing James Bond for Dynamite Comics.
Yeah, it's been a while since we had a James Bond comic. So
It's been a long time.
yeah, so with Warren Ellis taking the reins, expect some good stuff.
Yeah, man. It says, it is a quick synopsis. It says, launching in November with a 6-issue story arc called Varg, the series will see 007 back in London after a mission of vengeance in Hellisknee, where he takes on the workload of a fallen agent. But something evil is moving through the back streets of the city, and sinister plans are being laid for Bond in Berlin. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'll be definitely getting that. A bit of San Diego news. Obviously, San Diego started yesterday. The queues are just crazy. I've seen images of people sleeping outside, waiting for I believe tomorrow's panel. But it's nuts. But some bit of DC news for all you collectors out there. They will be having exclusive toys at San Diego, which is Batman vs Superman, Dawn of Justice. They have 3 figurines. They have the Superman figurine, you have Batman in the original Batsuit, and then you have him in the, I believe it's called the Power Suit, which is what you see in the trailer. And each figurine is going for $150. So I reckon that's gonna sell out pretty quick. Also, the Funko Bubbleheads, they have the limited edition exclusive there as well, which I can't get because obviously I'm not there, which is annoying because the resale value of them is just disgusting. So you can pick yourself up Funko Bubblehead Batman vs Superman. You actually get 2 of them in the whole. You get 2 of them in the pack, which is pretty cool. So if you are going to San Diego, get what you can because you're getting it for the retail price, and if you know the resale price online is just disgusting. Like that, what I just said is going on eBay for like £146, and its retail value is probably like $20. So I'm glad. They also had they've got Dick Dastardly from Wacky Races, one of the pop Funkos, which I wanted to get, but I can't because I'm not San Diego, which sucks. So a friend of mine's actually that I chat to, Lauren, on my Twitter page. She told me like she's there already, so but she's paid when we do the conversion £110 for 4 days, which is sick. You know, that's amazing, especially for what you're going there for. So it's pretty cool. I hope to go San Diego one day. But yeah, that's a bit of San Diego news. Also moving forward with a bit of news from this came out last week, I believe. Ben Affleck says DC movies are more realistic than Marvel movies. Exact words were, it is more mythical, it's more grand in that way, and it's a little more realistic, said Affleck. Just by the nature, these films can't be as funny or as quick or as glib as Marvel movies. See, you know what? That's where I disagree with him, because regardless of how realistic you're putting out your movies, you have to have a bit of humor and a bit of comedy, because it's a comic book at the end of the day. But obviously DC have their tone, Marvel have their tone. But I reckon that DC movies need to have more color, more humor, and more people that actually enjoy the movies. What do you think?
Totally agree, man. I mean, even watching Man of Steel in a lighter tone, because you can feel it on your
Yeah,
TV.
yeah, 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 yeah,
I
yeah,
saw.
yeah,
I
yeah,
remember watching it in a lighter tone. You know when he started flying
yeah,
for the
yeah,
first time. I saw that in a lighter tone, and I was like, "Oh my goodness!" Like this part was magical. It was a magical moment when Superman was first flying. It was just bright. You can see the blue, you can see the yellow, you can see the red,
yeah.
and like it just turned the film up, on its head and just gave us a different feel to it. I mean, you need some sort of levity, something to just put a smile on people's faces when they walk out the cinema. Because at the end of the day, it's kind of make believe.
Yeah, it's true. It was funny because when I told my friend this, when I told my friend yesterday, yeah, about how the comedy said about basically Marvel, obviously, DC movies are more realistic than Marvel. And he goes, what? He goes, you're telling me a man that flies into the sky is real? Yeah? And I started laughing. But I think what Ben Affleck means by more realistic, I think he means by more. It's more serious. It has a more serious touch. It has maybe more graphical fight scenes, more darker tone. Which I agree, but to this day, man, for me, and it's not because I'm a Marvel fan, but Marvel produce better the movies than DC, and the reason they do it is because they produce a comic book movie, which is why I'm looking forward to Deadpool, because I can see the type of tone they're gonna have with the movie, which is going to be pretty much what you get in Deadpool is to a certain extent what you get in a Deadpool movie. Now, if they wanted to go all out and make it like a proper Deadpool movie, it would have to be at least 18 to 21 years over, because Deadpool is, in a sense, a raw character. But for me, that's all it is, man. If DC was to do that, like I said, add more color to the movies, it'd be pretty cool. And just stop making every character dark. I'm really looking forward to actually.
At the end of the day, it's kind of disingenuous as well because you're having you're making a movie of these characters who are already established. There's a reason why these characters were created, and there's a reason why these characters have their own personalities, and there's a reason why these characters have their own tones. Now, if you try and bring in something, so if you try, it's like you're being deceitful with these characters, and people can, it translates on the screen.
Yeah.
That's why the Marvel is so, what's that word? It's so like to the book. Like when you're watching the film, it's like I'm reading the comic. It's like the same characters is what I'm watching, and that's why Marvel is flourishing at the moment.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's true. It's like when they did obviously the Batman movies. Yeah, Batman is that type of character. He's the Dark Knight is the Dark Knight, but you can't do that with Superman. Like people were complaining that obviously.
Or the Justice League, if they're
Yeah,
careful.
yeah. Like people were complaining about how he killed obviously Zod, but then I forgot myself that when you watch the old school, is it Superman 2? When he just pretty much breaks generals, he just throws Zod and kills him. But the difference between that movie is it portrayed basically Superman for who he was. He was cool, funny. He was a Superman you read in the comic books, and it had color. If you was to get a comparison, right, and get a screenshot Superman's suit from back in the day.
Now that whole killing thing raised a lot of controversy because in Man of Steel, it's like they're trying to make a point
that he does kill, like literally will kill.
They made a point to it. Like with the other one, he was like, "You weren't sure if he killed it. Yeah, no one really knows, but who cares? It's just one of those things." But like this one, it's like,
so it's the way he done it, basically.
We're showing you that
Superman's
gonna kill someone, and it was so like. It was quite a big deal.
Yeah.
It's like they're trying to be pioneering or they're trying to change the character, but no, nah, man.
But that's
it scares people.
It was,
and I guess I guess that's what this second movie is going to be about, based on the trailer anyway.
Yeah, man. Bit of advice, boy. If you're going to take your kids to a DC movie, boy, you best be prepared. be prepared for the craziness. But yeah, man, like that's what they really got to do is just be true to the characters. If they want to tweak things up, then yeah, you can, but you just keep the character to what he or she stands for, But I'm looking forward to what do you call it? Wonder Woman. I really want to see Wonder Woman. I really hope I really want DC to reboot because I'm not basically a fan of reboots, but I think one DC movie that deserves a reboot is Constantine. I think for me that's a movie that really does deserve to be put back up again, regardless of what's happening on the TV show. Even the TV show was good, I still wish they would. I really want them to reboot Constantine and keep it true to the comics because, that'd be cool. What else have we got? There's rumored to say that Justice League, for DC again, Justice League Part 1, apparently the script is finished. The movie will be out November the 17th, 2017, if obviously they don't push it back or push it forward. Also, one thing I really don't like, right, and there's something to do, even though I'm a Marvel fan, is the amount of trailers they push out is too much. They've pushed out more TV spots for Ant-Man than they did for Avengers. And I've only seen probably I've seen the second trailer or one TV spot, but I was getting bombarded with new TV spot. It's like they really, really pushing a lot of trailers for this movie. And I guess it's something that I don't really like because back in the day you used to watch one trailer and it was cool, but now they're pushing so many out, and for me it spoils the movie. Like they put out basically a TV spot where they told that the Falcon makes a cameo in Ant-Man, but they tried to pull it, but then obviously people already watched it, tweeted it and whatnot. One thing that I'm actually, in a way I'm actually kind of happy that something like the Falcon is actually getting a cameo because it's nice to see a character like that is actually stepping up, in a way. But yeah, the premiere for Ant-Man I believe was yesterday in the UK. Rotten Tomatoes gave the movie 65%, while James Gunn did say it was the best movie seen since Iron Man 1. A lot of people actually said they loved it. Some people are saying, it's average, giving it good marks, high marks, or no, good marks in general. But like I said, wait until the movie comes out and then judge for yourselves. But it's funny, everyone that I've spoken to has said, well, I'm not sure about Ant-Man because, no one takes him serious because he's a guy that can shrink and calls upon ants. But, I like him as a character because he's, I do like him, even though I've never really been that much of an Ant-Man fan, but I just like the concept that he can shrink and whatnot. But he's a character that obviously Marvel have taken a big risk because he's a character that if you haven't read the comic books or known about him or he hasn't made an appearance in some of the cartoons, then you won't know who he is. Just like they took a big risk with, Guardians of the Galaxy. If you never read about them, you wouldn't know who they are. So I think Ant-Man will be a movie like Guardians where we have comedy, humor, and whatnot. What's your takes on Ant-Man, man? Ant-Man.
I'm pretty excited about it. It's another Marvel movie coming in, so of course we'll be watching. And
17th.
Yeah, there's been a lot of a lot of trailers, and well, I've heard there's been some good buzz as well.
Yeah.
About the movie.
Yeah.
So that's good news because I was a bit worried about the film because it kind of feels like it's in its own little section.
Yeah.
Like Guardians, because Guardians is its own sort of thing, and that worked out for Guardians, but it's still a risk at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I mean, I heard that talking to like non-comic book people, they were like, Ant-Man, what the hell was Ant-Man? But
I'm just looking forward to the popcorn and nachos next week.
Yeah, not the IMAX, of course.
Oh yeah.
But the popcorn and nachos are pretty good though.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Yeah, you know what? In the IMAX, yeah, that nachos I had, even though how much did I spend? I think I spent like £15 on food. A lot of people in the States are listening to me. They're thinking, well, yeah, the UK is expensive, man. But
I
that's
think it's
nothing.
even more expensive over there because they're like spend about $20, $30 every time they
Yeah.
go to the movies.
But yeah, but I reckon over there, right, they'll get more of a portion. No, they get.
Yeah, true.
Maybe we get like Ant-Man
Yeah, we
sizes.
get a handful.
Yeah, man.
Man's like,
They get refills over there. We don't. Um,
yeah, it's all about quality rather than quantity
yeah,
over
but
there.
I would say the quality in the IMAX cinema was
That was amazing.
was the food was amazing. But again, my friend said to me like, who was it? My friend John was saying to me to go to a different IMAX. He goes, that's the one to go to. I think he said to me, I think the one in Enfield is supposed to be cool.
There's an IMAX in Enfield.
I think so. I have to ask him again. I told him I went to Waterloo. He was like, nah. He goes, not that one, man. He goes, that's not the one to go to.
All right, well, we can try it out.
Yeah, we'll see. I reckon it'll probably have to be for Civil War, though. We'll try again, hopefully
Yeah,
for Civil
yeah.
War. But yeah, from now on, regular cinemas. Speaking of Ant-Man again, like I said, the Falcon will be making a cameo in Ant-Man. Also, Regal Cinemas are giving the first 300 people a limited edition gold ticket for people who see Ant-Man in 3D at the IMAX. So if you want your ticket, boy, the first 300 are getting a gold ticket. That reminds me of Charlie in the Chocolate Factory. Another big news, Agent Carter season 2. A lot of people actually not really fond of Agent Carter. I like it because it's okay. I like it because one, it's set after
I'm afraid I'm one of those people as well because I didn't even finish watching the show, to be totally honest.
I know a lot of people didn't really like it, but I liked it just to the fact that I got a taste of what happened after a year after Cap went into ice. But this might make you actually want to watch it. Agent Carter season 2 is to feature villains from the Marvel comic book universe. They haven't said who they are, but they will have actually villains from the comic book universe in season 2.
Barazimo.
You never know. But yeah, that's gonna be interesting. The Black Panther needs a new director because Ava DuVernay has said that she will not do the movie because as she had talks with Marvel, she said they didn't see eye to eye in the movie. So the Black Panther is now looking for a new director.
I didn't even know that she confirmed.
No, it was confirmed. It was confirmed, and then she just came out and said that she basically decided not to do it because they didn't see eye to eye on the topic of where the movie was going to go.
See, the thing is, Kevin Feige, he's a huge Marvel fan, and with the Marvel movies, they're quite specific in what they want. They want it all to tie in, and they have this. All the Marvel movies have a certain tone. Now, if you're going to come in and try and change things, that's when they're kind of like really strict with it.
They're to the bone, and it's true they do get the perfect guys or the women to actually do the movies. Kind of makes sense, but we'll see who they get next. Where was I? Right. Also,
Because I'll probably be upset if they change Black Panther too much. As long as they get him right with the comics, I'm good. And
give me that vibranium.
likely they will.
Give me that. I really want to get Masterworks Volume 1, but it's so expensive. It's like £100 because obviously of the movie. But I'm assuming before Black Panther comes out, they'll probably reprint. I'm sure they will do reprint Volume 1, just like they reprinted Volume 1 of Doctor Strange. I'll be getting that. Also for you Luke Cage fans, Luke Cage Volume 1 Masterworks comes out, I believe, August the 3rd or the 9th. Sometime in August. So you can pre-order that now in Forbidden Planet. So they have the... when I mean the reprint, it's the reprint of the original graphic novel. So you're not getting like a second print, or it's actually the reprint of the first graphic novel that came out. And you also there with that they also printed the same copy, but it's the variant copy, which is I believe all yellow. So that should be limited to three to 500 copies, a bit more. So get it. Gotta get introduced into Luke Cage as a character. Moving along, Fantastic Four director Josh Trank says in Fantastic Four there'll be a slugfest, as in a scene, I believe, or just non-stop, I guess, fighting. Fantastic Four has to be one of the most, so far, right, anticipated movies, because everyone's saying it's going to be the worst movie, period. But like I said, I'm going to take in your advice, and this is my advice to everybody out there. When you watch Fantastic Four, right, you want to discard every single thing you've read in the comics. Just watch it as it's not related to Marvel whatsoever, and you probably get through the movie.
You know, a lot of people were saying that. I'm sure you're probably one of those people as well, saying that Marvel's getting rid of Fantastic Four. But isn't it funny that with Secret Wars, it's kind of centered around the Fantastic Four, if you know what I mean?
Wait, in what way?
Because Doctor Doom is a Fantastic Four villain, and like with Sue, she's sort of,
yeah.
you know what I mean? Secret Wars.
Yeah.
So it's weird. Like the main event that's going on at the moment centers around the first family of Marvel.
That's true. No, I never thought about it that way. You know, it kind of makes sense what you just said. I never looked at it that way. I only like Fantastic Four because of Doctor Doom. You know, I love him as a character. You know, he's just Doctor Doom. You know, I love him as a character. He sits on his Iron Throne, and he's the boss of all bosses. Right, for all you girls out there, literally for girls, guys, and women, this came up out of the blue. Hello Kitty are producing a movie to come out in 2019, and their budget is 162 million. So, yep, even Hello Kitty are getting into the movie scene, basically. Yeah, that's basically for me. That's my movie, my news for the week. Have you got anything to add?
Well, there's been the Image Expo.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Yes, 19 issues.
Yeah.
19.
Do you want to talk about the ones that you're pretty excited about?
You know what? You have to send me the link because I don't have it on me.
Right.
Is it on the Image website?
No.
It was a Rama.
No, it's probably better at the Newsarama is probably the best spot for these sort of things.
Where is it?
Basically, there's every year there's a Image Expo it's the Image Expo where they talk about the books that's going to come out in the next 3 years, because it's pretty good because it gets everyone sort of hyped for a book. I sent you the link for a book that's coming out that everyone's waiting for. Like for me, I was waiting for Tokyo Ghost for like 3 years since the 2012 Image Expo, and the book still isn't out yet. But yeah, so I sent you the link. Do you want to go through it?
All right, so we're gonna go through it, yeah, right, one by one. All right, so.
Well, you got your reboot, the one that you kept on. You said that they were gonna reboot it, right?
Yeah. So I'm not really happy about this because I just don't want it to reboot. The only reason I don't want it to reboot because I really hope they don't renumber it. That's all.
I think they are renumbering it.
No. But yeah, for you Invincible fans out there, Invincible will be getting a reboot after issue 124. It says in this quick synopsis, it says, in this new direction for Invincible, Mark suddenly finds himself without powers again, back home, but aware of everything he's lived through. What does he change? Who can he save? And how will he deal with his father now that he knows what's coming? I can't stress enough. If you like Dragon Ball Z, if you like Superman, you read Invincible. It is, like it says, the best superhero comic book you ever read. It is, man. It's amazing. So, written by Robert Kirkman, who does obviously The Walking Dead. Ryan Otley on the artwork. You know, the artwork is amazing. The storyline is it's amazing. It has been a bit slow because obviously if you've been reading it, if you've been reading it, Marx has left Earth because Earth was taken over by I forgot the guy's name now. Is it Super Robot that pretty much took over the whole planet? Mark couldn't do anything about it. So him and his wife and their baby went to another planet. So it kind of slowed down a little bit, but it's still kind of just it's a good comic book. So I advise everyone to get volume 1 and read on. So yeah. See, the thing about Image Comics is regardless, they're just addictive, man. They just are so addictive, and I guarantee you, out of these 19 books they're launching, I probably will be getting some of them. So,
Yeah, let's just quickly run through it.
okay.
Like, the next one is by Anthony Johnston, and it's called Codename Babushka, The Conquering of Death.
That's a
And
name.
the first line it says, "What if a sexy Russian Bond girl was actually the hero, hero actually?" So this seems a lot of fun. If you're a sort of spy is your genre or if it's spy is your sort of spy books or your taste, or James Bond sort of
Yeah.
books.
Or if you're a Black Widow fan.
Yeah, or if you're a Black Widow fan, of course. So this seems like a fun book. Says that Babushka has everything you'd expect from me, a kick-ass female hero, bags a lot of tension, deep dark secrets, everyone's trying to figure out. And it's high octane stuff with guns, fists, explosives everywhere. So, yeah.
Seems pretty
There
good.
you go.
And it's out. October hits. October.
I don't know if Lazarus is going to be around, or what's the other one that's written by, I've forgotten. Yeah, Lazarus is one of those ones with like a spy,
Yeah.
Red Velvet, that's it, I think. Yeah, Red Velvet. So those are sort of, it's going into that same bag. But the art, I just want to mention, the art looks pretty cool. It's by Shiori Chankhammer. So that was a little preview image they've given us.
Oh man, they haven't got any pictures for the rest of them. They've only got images for some of them, right?
Yeah, that's what I said. Let's just quickly go through it and see which ones stick out.
All right. We're going through the whole list, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. The next one is Camp Midnight. It says reluctant camper Skies accidentally sent to the wrong camp for the summer, not waiting to please her stepmother. Sky is dead set on not fitting in. Luckily, that won't be a problem, as everyone at Camp Midnight, with the exception of a fellow camper, a fast friend, Maya, seems to be a full-fledged monster.
Wow. So this is straight up horror. So
yeah, this looks a bit it looks a bit nuts.
Camp Midnight. Yeah, I mean, image is like, their sort of books are kind of like violent and gory and horror and science fiction. So
Yeah. As you,
why not?
Why not, man? It just says, can Skype keep her identity as a human secret until she catches the bus for home? Is all of this a figment of her overactive imagination? Or what about Sky's major crush on a boy really far from her usual type? Find out in Camp Midnight.
Yeah. Next up is Blue Monday, Thieves Like Us. It's I guess
Revive.
it's like a revived series. I don't really know much about it. If I don't know anything about it, to be totally honest. Well, I guess a cartoon is called China Cluxton Flores. She's back on the drawing board. There's another one, Blue Monday, Germ-Free Adolescents. It seems like it's a collection for this one.
Yeah.
And another one, Scooter Girl, by China Cluxton Flores. So I guess the Blue Monday ones is all of it's a collection, but the Scooter Girl is a new series.
Yeah.
Um, basically, it's sort of like a romantic comedy, which is kind of different for a image book. You expect something like this for Monkey Brains or something.
True.
But it says that it appears that nothing can go wrong for this hard-hearted hottie that is until the confident, fashionable Margaret Selden motors by her Lambretta. I don't know what that is. So everyone in the school suddenly hates him. His father declares bankruptcy, and the scooter gets run over by a truck. So a nice little slice of life book, romantic comedy. So enjoy.
All right.
I'm sure the art will be a lot of fun as well.
For real, I'm looking forward to the images when they come out soon. Next up is it's throwaways. It says 1973 Project MA. Oh, this is going to be interesting. 1973. I think I've seen this before, man. This book. So again, 1973 Project MK Ultra shuts down for good. Its goal for creating brainwashed assassins and psychic spies unrealized. That's the story the world believes for 30 years until Dean Logan, son of a successful Ultra test subject, narrowly escapes a team of enhanced operatives sent to kidnap him back into the fold on the run, not just from the dirtiest secrets the CIA ever founded, but his own out of control psychic abilities. Dean is saved by Abby Palmer, a former Army Ranger taken by Ultra in Afghanistan and reprogrammed to be an unstoppable, disposable killer. Yeah, this looks totally.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
definitely something.
I mean, we all know in the 70s there was a lot of like scandals, especially the Watergate scandal in the US.
Yeah,
Um,
Project MA.
but
Yeah,
yeah, go on.
I was gonna say Project MA. Project MA. MK
MK Ultra.
Ultra is actually real. That actually was, it kind of blew up years and years ago. You also have like the Montauk projects, which was pretty much when you look at when you watch the first season of Fringe. Fringe was actually based on the sense of the MK Ultra. Sorry, MK Ultra, and I believe the Montauk project. So it actually, for people that actually are into this, it will be an ideal book for them. But then again, anything that has mind control, conspiracies, killing, why not, man? Give it a go and see what happens, man.
Seems like a Winter Soldier project going on there.
Basically, yeah.
So yeah, that seems a lot of intrigue in there. If you guys are conspiracy theorists who want to sort of feed that little itch that you guys have, why not? Go for it. Next up is Sunset Park. Something up in Sunset Park, and he ain't just a rent. Yeah, a lot of people's complained about New York. I'm sure even in the, I guess, Age of Ultron, Cap was complaining about he can't find anywhere to live because it's so expensive. So I guess they were trying to. That was a little red herring. Anyway, our Brooklyn's gentrifiers. Damn it. Brooklyn's gentrifiers, more than just economic vampires. A cartoonist draws the Maccabee story from a collection of notes, journals, movies, and other inferior he finds boxed, abandoned in the studio he recently rented along the latest frontline in gentrification, relentless march over Brooklyn and Sunset Park. So yeah, I guess this is one of those books where it speaks on society at the moment. There's not that much information on the artist. But it might be some sort of a collection, I guess. It says that it's going to be written by Ron Wimberly, so this will be interesting. And also Rob Wimberly, the Slave Punk, is another project of his. It tells the story of how a genius slave defied the power king Cotton and ignited civil war in an attempt to end slavery. Interesting. So Ron Wimberly is a name to watch out for, guys. He's a newcomer coming to wreak havoc in the comic world.
Next up, we have Cry Havoc. It says Image Comics announced Cry Havoc, a new series written by Simon Spurrier, who's done X-Men Legacy, Marvel Zombies, The Spire, with arts by Ryan Kelly, who's done, I believe, Lucifer, Northlanders 3. And featuring colors by Lee Lorridge and Matt Wilson. Letters by I've been wrong. Letters by Simon Bowler and designed by Emma Price. Kravik is a journey into a war-torn Afghanistan in the company of monsters. A London street musician savaged by a ghostly hound and a terrified prisoner tangled in folklore insurrection. It says beneath all his snark, Thurgood Hall beats deadly firefights and exploding billy goats cry havoc in the ultimate tale of one woman struggling to keep her life from falling apart. Said Spiro to depict it all. I've been lucky enough to partner with Ryan, who's genuinely one of the greatest storytellers. Our medium has a medium, has not to mention a next level monster wrangler. Add to that some narrative mode breaking by our roster of superstar colorists. Cry Havoc is a snarling to be set loose. It sounds crazy, man. Sounds like a crazy book. We all know, man.
Yeah, Sasbury is definitely a bit of a character as well. He's been in the comic game for a while. He wrote Uncanny X-Force after, I guess, when my boy Rick Remender left. But yeah, I guess this is his first. Well, he wrote Spire. I guess this is probably one of his major creator-owned books that he's bringing out. So it seems interesting.
For real. Next up, is a book that I'm gonna get just read it just because of the title, which is Black Magic. Which anything reminds me of magic reminds me of Doctor Strange or Constantine, so I'll be getting it. So again, this is called Black Magic. Best-selling writer Greg Rucka and artist Nicola Scott team. Oh, Nicola.
So just the name makes you interested. For me, I mean, Greg Rucka and Nicola Scott, they're quite big names for me. Greg Rucka, obviously, enough said with him. And Nicola Scott, she's one of the huge powerhouse artists for DC. So they're both of them working together. This is definitely something that's really cool. Greg Rucka, I mean, you just have to pick up a Greg Rucka book. I think he's writing Lazarus. You know that?
Hello? Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, go on. Yeah, no, just,
I'll say,
you cut for that few seconds. You cut up, go on.
Yeah, I was saying that Greg Rucka, he's writing, Greg Rucka, he writes Lazarus.
That's a book that I've actually been contemplating not to get. And I actually met a guy in Forbidden Planet that said to me, he explained it to me, and I was like, right, it sounds like a very, very deep book. Very deep. So I'm actually going to have to get that on the graph. Is that still going on, by the way?
I believe so. I believe it's still going on. It's like, the independent books, they're so addictive. So,
Saga.
You just gotta
yes,
read the ones that kind of, he's gotta be careful with those books there. But yeah, Greg Rucka, he's a powerhouse writer. Any book that he's writing, you just gotta give it a go. I guarantee you enjoy it. As well as Nicola Scott, amazing artist. She's an amazing artist. She was drawing Earth 2. I'm a huge fan of Earth 2 and DC.
Yeah.
She's done a lot of. She was a powerhouse DC artist, so it's great that she's working with powerhouse Greg Rucka. So I'm pretty intrigued by this one, Black Magic.
Yep, getting it. It says Black Magic follows Rowan Black, robbery homicide detective in the city of Portsmouth, and the latest in a line of traditional witches who can trace their lineage and memories back to before the Library of Alexandria burned. Rowan has carefully built a wall between her personal life and her faith, but now that barrier is cracking. If magic is the power to impose on one's will on reality, where does that leave the rest of us? I'll be getting it because I'm intrigued about this book, so definitely be getting that. Also, I need to pick up soon Lazarus Volume 1 and read that as well.
Yeah, definitely Lazarus. Next up is Crosswinds by everyone's favorite writer, Gail Simone. She's got a. I don't know if this is her first create-owned book. I guess she's always worked on DC, of course, and she's writing Red. She's writing Red Sonja as well as she wrote Tomb Raider. So she hasn't really, not that I'm aware of. She hasn't really wrote her own personal create-owned book, and for her to have this one for Image is quite interesting. It's called Crosswings. It's a cutting-edge story of a suave, sharp hitman from Chicago and a seemingly unremarkable housewife from Seattle, and how they accidentally end up switching lives in the suspense fantasy for the sex, violence, and the blackness of humor. So yeah, if you know Gail Simone with her black humor, you are definitely going to get something that you expect from a Gail Simone book. So this seems pretty cool. Crosswing by Gail Simone, artist. I don't know what's his artist. Cat Stags. So I don't really know much about Cat Stags, but there's a preview image which seems amazing.
Right. Seems interesting. Probably pick that one up as well. I'm probably going to get all these number ones just to see what they're like and see what they're saying. Next up is a book that everyone will get regardless if they like Image Comics or not, because it's written by Jason Aaron, artist R.M. Galera. The book is called The God Damned, and it says, before the Great Flood, the world is filled with violence and wickedness. In just a couple of thousand years, humanity has gone from paradise to depravity and ruin. God is beginning to seriously regret having ever created man in the first place. It says, welcome to the world of the God Damned, an all-new ongoing series to launch from Image Comics, November 2015, just set before the biblical flood. In a world so out of control with violence and depravity, God is just about to pull the plug. It's part caveman adventure story, past Arkham and a brutal western, said Aaron. And did I mention there are dinosaurs? Imagine if Quentin Tarantino was hired to direct the movie version of the Book of Genesis. That's pretty much what we're aiming for.
Yeah, it's interesting to note that both of them were working on a book called Scalpel, so they're back together on this one, which just seems quite interesting as well. Jason Aaron, of course, great writer, but this seems interesting that it's kind of like a biblical story,
Yeah,
but it's with dinosaurs, so of course it's to be a lot of fun.
I reckon this is a book. For some reason, I think this is a book that's gonna just really, really blow up and sell out. So for all you people that are doubting, just get a copy of issue 1 just to have it there, because you never know with Image books how they just blow up. Like, for example, Walking Dead, Invincible, and books like Saga. For people that don't know who Jason Aaron, he's also writing. He's gonna be writing the new Doctor Strange. He's currently writing Thor. For Marvel, Southern Bastards for Image Comics. Is there anything else that he's writing? Am I missing one?
I guess, yeah, he's one of those guys that's writing everything. But yeah,
He's also writing something for. Is he doing another book for Marvel as well? After Secret Wars.
I don't think he's doing Secret Wars. It's Jonathan Hickman that's doing Secret Wars.
No. What I mean is, after Secret Wars is done, is he writing one of the new titles?
Oh, I'm sure.
Is it Daredevil?
No, that's Charles Soule.
I
I can't really think of any at the moment, but I'm sure he's writing something.
All right. It says this is the Other Side Deluxe Edition. Jason Aaron and Cameron Stewart announced that a new title, Deluxe Edition of The Other Side, would be coming to Image Comics. Is that an ongoing book?
It's an old book, actually. It's quite interesting because this book was published under Vertigo, so I guess, because Vertigo is also it's an imprint of DC, where it's a create-owned sort of publisher. They have the choice to which side they want to print it on. So yeah. I guess they're moving their their product to Image. They're making it into a deluxe version. So yay for them.
Yeah. Where are we? Okay,
Uh,
wait.
Warren Ellis, of course. Um, Warren Ellis is a great writer. It's called Heartless. A female musician returns to Northern England where her family owned a little cottage in the middle of the forest. She wrote her first album there and she's going back to the countryside as musicians used to write her next one. But the forest doesn't want her there. She's returning to face the demons, one in particular, and put herself back together. But the forest remembers what she did and the devil wants his due. So, yeah, expect goriness and madness as this Warren Ellis book.
Right, sounds interesting. Next is Hook. Huck.
Yeah, you remember I mentioned this last week with
Yeah.
Mark Miller. So I expect this one to be a movie or a TV show at least, at the very least.
Where are we? I can't find the flipping synopsis for this. Yeah.
Well, he said that this book was kind of like a mix between. If I remember last week, he said it was a mix between Back to the Future and Indiana Jones or something.
Oh,
So it's,
wow.
yeah, to say all the best old comics were about people you didn't expect becoming empowered. Peter Parker was a classic hero. He was a lonely teenager. Murder was blind. Tony Stark had a heart condition. Donald Blake couldn't walk without sticks, so you wanted to do something incredibly sweet about a small-town guy with learning difficulties who could do all these amazing things. He's the purest, most decent character you've ever seen in a comic book. So this is sort of like a origin of a sort of what would you say of your perfect hero. So it seems like a fun book.
Nice. Next
Private
up,
Private Eye.
the
Do you remember? Do you remember this Private Eye?
Yeah, vaguely, yeah, I do.
Yeah, it was the free comic. Well, not the free comic. I shouldn't say that. It's Name Your Own Price comic on Panel Syndicate by Rag Avon. I'm waiting for the trade so I can get it on this one. So they announced the hardcover, deluxe hardcover. So I'm definitely going to get this one.
All right. Next, just so we give you a quick synopsis of that. It's set in an inevitable future where everyone has secret identity. The Private Eye is an eerie, prescient sci-fi mystery about an unlicensed private investigator who stumbles onto the most important case of his life. Next is a book that. Next up, has a nutty title. It's called Snot Girl, where writer Brian Lee and Mainly. Boy, it said Snotty Girl is funny, effed up, mildly warned. It's full of fascinating characters you love to hate. Leslie's art is lush and beautiful. It seems like a very, very crazy, nutty book. I'll probably sell this for the title, but I'll pick it up to see what it's saying. So that's Snot Girl.
It's also like Leslie Hung is it's a newbie in the artist world. Said that this is my first ongoing series, so I'm really excited. Snot Girl is going to be the best comic ever if we don't die making it. So this is a relatively newcomer coming in. Leslie Hung. I should check out. I don't know if it's a male or female, but we should check out the. Oh, it's a female. Yeah, she's a cartoonist, of course, but we should check out her Instagram or type in Leslie Hung at least, and then you can see her incredible artwork. So Snot Girl, like the way they picked up Babstar for Batgirl, I guess the industry is opening up even more to artists. So this is great. This is good news. Hopefully we'll get Leslie to do maybe something for Marvel. But yeah, she's a really cool artist.
We'll be picking that up as well, boy. What's next up?
Well, it looks like it's a graphic novel called Virgil. Um, I guess. Oh, oh, I remember this. This is yeah, David Walker. David Walker. I remember I was listening to a podcast interview that he was in, and he was talking about this book. Basically, it says that it's betrayed, beaten, and banished by his own, and outed cop fights his way across Jamaica for revenge. Um, yeah, so David Walker, he he sort of like really bigged up this book and said, "Yeah, this book is going to be amazing." It's written by the Steve Orlando, and the art is by JD's Faith, present and brand new. It's a queer exploitation graphic novel. I guess that's a new word. This is a Foxy Brown style revenge action with new face and new fist holding his gun in his badge. Virgil thought he was safe in the police force, hiding who he is, which is homosexual. But when his own brother or the force outs him in the paper, it doesn't bring him down, it sets him free. So as we all know, the Jamaican community is kind of like known for being quite homophobic. And so this will be controversial to say the least. And of course, it's going to be an amazing book because it's got the sealed approval of David Walker. So this will be a fun book to have a look at.
Nice. Next up is Hardian's Hardian's Wolf from the creative team behind the critically acclaimed series Carl Higgins, Alex Siegel, and Rod Reis. Comes a new psychological thriller in Hayden's War where the secrets of everyone involved are as dark as the space that surrounds them. The series is set to launch from Image Comics this November 2015. It says when a crew member dies aboard one of Earth's survey ships, Hardians will investigate as Simon Moore looks to determine whether foul play is involved. However, once on board, it doesn't take Simon long to realize that few things are what they seem, including the identities of the crew and the real reason Hardian's War is on the edges of colony space, where every crew member is a suspect and tensions between Earth and the colony mounting. The fate of both worlds may come down to one man in the ship. Nice, so you got space, murder, and investigation, so sounds pretty cool. Again, I'll be probably copying this as well.
Yeah, I mean, Carl Higgins, he's a really fun writer. As we all know, he done a lot of fun stuff for DC. He was writing Nightwing. He was also writing Batman Beyond. So, as well as Justice League Beyond, I believe. So those were really, really great books. He brought back the Justice Lords, which was really, really one of my favorite runs on the Batman Beyond, Justice League Beyond crossover digital first comic. So, and also Cal is another great book that he's written. So, Hadrian's Wall, this is something that you guys should definitely look out for.
Where are we? The next book we have is Accent. Creator and writer artist Shane Davis alongside inker Michelle Deckley and colorist Maury Howell bring Accent to Image Comics this October 2015. It says in Accent, teenager Eric Morn's life revolves around gaming. Said Davis, he quickly finds himself locked against a vicious player, only to realize the game Accent has carried over into the real world with apocalyptic consequences. So what happens when a video game decides to come to our reality to play? When there are no extra lives, and Armageddon looms on the horizon when your life revolves around gaming like a teenager. Eric Moore, you press start. Looks interesting. For you gamers out there, I used to play lots of computer games back in the day. I'll be picking this up. Where are we? Next we have Faster Than Light. This is written and drawn by Brian Harbelin. Shadowline Image Comics is pleased to introduce readers to all new interactive storytelling experience in Faster Than Light, coming September 2015. It says, in the very near future, we discover the secret of faster than light travel. Suddenly, the universe is wide open to us, but are we ready for it? With the idealism of the original Star Trek and the grit and idimancy of gravity, the story of humanity's first thrilling and terrifying adventures to the stars takes fright. So every issue features anomalies, free cutting edge, augmented reality app, which makes it a lot like interactive holograms are coming out of the book. Wow, sounds pretty nice.
Do you remember? Did you pick up that Rat Queen special?
Yeah.
The one by Braga.
Yeah.
Because they're the same people who brought out that sort of because the Images worked together with Shadowline. So they did do. I think the last one they did was Rat Queens. I didn't pick it up. Did you notice any difference on that issue?
It's a completely different book, in a way.
So yeah, I guess they're, it was a huge success. That's why they're coming back again. So I guess okay. So next up is Expired, written by Jimmy Robinson, art by Richard Pace. Shadowline is back again with Image, also announced all new 5-issue supernatural crime series. Expired. In Expired, a homeless war vet ends up helping a ghost who is connected to an old coin-operated parking meter. He can only see and communicate with her as long as he feeds the meter. He has to solve the murder before the sea replaces the meter with a modern version, and before the killer finds him. And before the hitter finds him, but who is going to believe a homeless guy who looks like he's talking to himself? This looks like it's going to be a lot of fun.
It will sell as well.
Yeah.
So watch out for that, people.
The 1%, the 1%, yeah. Critically acclaimed writer, arts director, career Kyle Andrews. If anyone's reading the Iron Fist, The Living Weapon, then you would know about this guy. He basically wrote and drew that book. So he's back with his own create-owned book, which is going to be his first one, and it's called In the 1% or The 1%. It's basically a create-owned book where it says that they own more than half the world, and Renato Jones is going to even the score 1% at a time. Interesting.
Right. Final book, where are we? Is called it says Ringside by Kentage Barbara. It says the raw violence is outside the ring. It comes out November 2015. It says Ringside is an ongoing drama written by Joe Kintage, Shutter and Tech Jacket, which I purchased a while ago. It says with art by Nick Barber, colors by Simon Golf, and letters by Aniya Ma. It says set around the world of professional wrestling and coming from Image Comics this November. The series explores artistry and performance, rotating as cogs in the corporate machinery of an industry built to sell myth to the mass. So Ringside starts with 3 perspectives: a retired veteran forced to fight his greatest battle in the real world, a rookie struggling to get his first shot, and a writer frustrated over lack of control. But they're just the beginning. The real violence is outside the ring. So that sounds a bit nuts. Kind of makes sense. So the real violence is outside the ring.
Cool.
Right.
But yeah, I guess one last thing, we saved the best for last. The biggest news come out of the Image Expo was Brian K. Vaughan working on Walking Dead, or maybe sort of doing a crossover with The Walking Dead, which is, I guess if you guys recall just earlier, we mentioned Private Eye with Brian K. Vaughan and Marcos Martin. They're basically gonna write a crossover event with The Walking Dead, which seems like, when I heard this news, my head sort of exploded. And it says Vaughan explained that Robert Kirkman has been pursuing him had been pursuing to do the duo to bring the digital comic Private Eye to Image Comics for some time, eventually working out a deal for a printed edition at Image in exchange for Vaughn and Martin doing the Walking Dead story on the digital, so kind of syndicate. So, so that hasn't really confirmed when it'll be out, but they confirmed that Brian K. Vaughan will be working on the Walking Dead story, and there's an image released from it. So, yeah, that's the biggest news that come out there. The Image Expo.
Alright. One of the biggest things for me, going to like quickly. Yeah, have you read any books?
Yeah, I read a couple actually.
One of the biggest things that I got was a book that I was waiting for, even though I'm not even into it, is Archie, #1, issue 1, which came out just this week.
Oh, you picked it up?
Yeah, I picked it up, man. It's by Mark Waid and art by Fiona Staples, who's currently drawing Saga. So I actually haven't even read it yet. And the funny thing is, I picked it up because of I picked it up because I wanted to get the J. Scott Campbell variant, but it's only just now that I just opened the book that I realized it was written by Mark Waid and drawn by Fiona Staples. So it kind of just hit me because I totally forgot. I haven't even read it yet. I'm looking forward to reading it because I've never read an Archie comic in my life. Period. I've always seen it up in smoke and stuff, but it just seems like a very, very light-headed book, and because it's Mark Waid and it's Fiona Staples, I'll be collecting this until the book gets dropped or whatnot. So, how many books did you read? Did you get?
Yeah, I read quite a couple books actually. But yeah, I was hoping that you read it so you can tell us about it. The Mark Waid and Fiona Staples book.
I didn't read it, man. I should have read it. I'll probably review it next week. I'm only going to review a few, which is where we go. Right, the first one is a book that I've been anticipating to get for a very long time, and I don't know if you picked it up, but Secret Wars tie-in. It's Civil War. Civil War, written by Charles Soule, penciler Lena Francis, inker Gary Angulana, color Sonny Go, letterer VC Joe Sabino, cover artist Lena Francis, you and Sonny Go. Like I said, I'm not going to spoil anything in these reviews. It's basically an ongoing war between Captain America and Iron Man, with repercussions of basically of what happened in the original Civil War, with obviously certain superheroes being told they have to register themselves, so they're giving up their identities, while obviously other people did not basically want to be enlisted, and that sort of brought up the Civil War. If you read the first Civil War series, but in this Civil War, the war still rages, and what you find out in this Civil War is there's a lot of casualties in the first few pages, which I'm not going to tell you who they are, but a lot of people, a lot of heroes get killed off, and what happens is it becomes pretty much the worst night of Tony Stark and Steve Rogers' life. So what happens is, after that, they found their own space. What I'm trying to say is basically, you have the Red, which is Captain America's side of the world, and you have Steve Rogers' side of the world. So they all live basically in their own parts of the world. But what happens is they give the people the opportunity to pick. So if you're more of Iron Man, you can go live with Iron Man. If you're more on on basically the on Cap side. You got the Cap side, and you just it's who you follow and what principles you live by. You take your pick. But obviously, what happens now is just to move forward is they tried to announce peace between both Captain America and Iron Man. So what happens is there's a meeting with a certain person, and what happens is there's a certain assassination that goes wrong, and because of that assassination, fingers get pointed out. You know, who basically pulled the trigger, and you find that in a book that basically, even let's say for example, Cap and Iron Man want to have peace because the war's it's become bigger than them. Basically, there's people that don't want the peace to basically come about. So you have a lot of espionage. You have a lot of drama, and it's a very, very intense book when you start reading it. It's very dark, intense, and has a very dark tone. Also, when you see Peter Parker, he's not very friendly in the book. He's very, very angry. You know, he's a very angry character in the book, which is pretty different for Parker. But you see also a cameo from two people that you will have never seen in the Marvel universe, or you have, but you haven't seen them in this way. But overall, it's very good. It's very dark, and it sets you up basically for Civil War next year. But I really recommend everyone to pick this book up because it's pretty cool, man. I just love the way Charles Soule writes, so definitely down for this. Next up, quickly, is The Amazing Spider-Man: Renew Your Vows, issue 2, written by Dan Sloth, artist Adam Kubert, inker John Dell, colorist Justin Ponza. And he kind of just kicks off basically from the last issue where Peter Parker is fighting his demons, because in the last issue, if you haven't read it, I am going to spoil it for you, is, he does actually kill Eddie Brock, who is Venom. He actually does kill him because Parker is now faced with, do I let him go and he kills my family, or do I take him out so my family can survive? So it's set basically in a time where all the heroes are dead apart from Peter Parker. He can't basically be Spider-Man anymore because if he gets outed, then he dies and his daughter gets killed off. So Peter Parker now is living a life of where he can't take pictures of Spider-Man anymore because Spider-Man in their eyes is dead. So hasn't got enough money to feed his wife and his kids. He's got to tell his daughter now that obviously she can't be acting up with powers because they'll take her away. The people that are after superpowered people. So he has to play a very, very human, a very, very human side. So no powers basically can be used whatsoever. But obviously that gets, in a sense, compromised down the line of where his daughter gets compromised. So he has to basically lash out and basically become Spider-Man. It's basically just like in a sense it's like a darker version of Civil War, in the way of where if it's weird. It's like if you use your powers, you're getting taken out. What's mad about this book is all the heroes are dead, but all the villains are still there. So at the end of the book you get introduced to a very, very, let's just say you have the Sinister Six, but then you get introduced to a new Sinister Six. So it's obviously this Renew Your Vows is a Secret Wars tie-in, and there's in this time period there is no heroes apart from Parker, and everyone else is basically they're villains in a way, innit? They're villains. But obviously, it's a very good book, man. It's a whole take. It's a different take on Peter Parker and his life and what would have happened if things went through for him normally. But if you read Amazing Spider-Man, you know, Dan Slott writes Parker to the T to the bone. The artwork is really cool. It's nice. Storyline is very intense. It has humor, intensity, darkness. You know, because if you read issue 1, you see the dark side of Peter Parker that you would only probably seen if Superior took over him. There goes my smoke alarm. Something's getting burnt downstairs. But that's basically Secret Wars issue 2. So moving forward, we also have a big book as well, which is where are you? Age of Apocalypse, which is a Secret Wars tie-in. It kind of sticks. My bad. Where are we? Secret Wars, written by Fabian Nicieza. Artist is Gerardo Sandoval. Pretty much kicks off with the last Age of Apocalypse, of where obviously Xavier is dead. Magneto is the he is so-called. He is the leader of the X-Men. Again, in this book as well, it's set basically. You have a few X-Men who are basically trying to save a certain guy who basically the Apocalypse want, the Four Horsemen want dead. So you get introduced to the Four Horsemen who are trying to basically so you get introduced to one of the Four Horsemen who basically is out to kill this boy because in a sense the way the story goes is he's maybe the person that can end the Age of Apocalypse or end Apocalypse. So the X-Men come out, try to save him, but things go wrong, and let's just say the majority of the X-Men basically so they actually get killed off. And because I'm not naming any names as usual, but you have a few deaths in there. The whole book is about basically the kid being imprisoned, and you find out that you get introduced to the rest of the X-Men, who are composed of also with Magneto and Wolverine, Rogue, and two characters which really don't know who they are. But what I like about the Wolverine is, you know, if you read Age of Apocalypse, that, you know, it's Wolverine gets his hand cut off by Apocalypse. So they're sticking to the same story, like they're sticking to the same storyline in a way. It's a very dark book. From beginning to end, it's very dark. It's written with a very dark tone. The coloring is very dark. It's just a dark tone because obviously in the Age of Apocalypse, it's just nothing but darkness, chaos, and brimstone. You also find out a certain character, and this becomes a bit evil. You get introduced to one of my favorite characters, which is Sinister. I do love him as a character, but it's all about making sure this kid actually dies, and the X-Men are trying to basically rescue him. You also get introduced to a certain a concept, you know, because we have the concept of humans and mutants existing with each other, but you find that here the mutants see themselves as above the humans, and you get introduced to a certain character, a very big character in the X-Men who basically doesn't really care about what's happening and would like to see some of these humans actually pay for what they're doing. So in this book, you have a kid who's pretty much can take out the Age of Apocalypse. You also have a certain virus that's been implemented that's going to do a lot of harm to a certain type of people, because you have a bunch of people that want revenge. So you have revenge, darkness, destiny. You have a kid that can end the fight, or can he? Can end the apocalypse, or can he? But they don't tell you literally what this kid can actually do. Is he a mutant? Is he human? What is he? So you find out in issue 2, basically, of Age of Apocalypse, a Secret Wars tie-in. But that's pretty much what I got. I picked up more books, but I didn't get a chance to read them, and that was Lando by Charles Soule. Issue 1 is out. Batman 42, Snyder, and Saga, I guess. But that's pretty much me, man. That's pretty much me for the reviews of today.
Cool. Breaking news, straight out of SDCC. Apparently, Wesley Snipes has been talking with Marvel about more Blade. So you know,
it's funny because me and my friend was talking about it yesterday. Because I said to him they should cast Snipes back into the Marvel universe.
They should, right?
Yeah, why not, man? Give him his movie.
Because Blade was actually the first Marvel movie.
That was dark.
The first Marvel movie to actually break out, because the Blade 1 that came out before X-Men. So there you go. Yeah, and also Jada Pinkett Smith, she wants to play Vixen in Suicide Squad 2. That's if Suicide Squad 2 is actually going to be a movie. But anyway,
wow.
She obviously wants that.
She wants to get in quickly.
I actually like her as Fish Mooney. I know a lot of people don't like Fish Mooney. I was a huge fan of Fish Mooney. I thought she was great. And in Gotham. Also, the Flash has got a new costume. So the Flash costume is a lot redder this time, which is great. It's got
Color.
It's a lot brighter. Yeah. Sorry, it's also got like the lightning stripes as well. So expect a lot of fun stuff from the new Flash TV show. So it's a lot of red. The suit is red, even more red now. It's got the symbol in the front. So yeah, that's gonna be awesome. I know a lot of people were a bit on the Flash costume when it first came out, but people got used to it real quick. So now they're sort of making the suit a lot brighter to match the show, because the show is really, really bright. As soon as the show starts, you got a huge smile on your face. DC TV are doing everything right, apart from the movies. But anyway, moving on. And so yeah, this is live, guys. Live San Diego Comic Con news. Also, Ron Perlman. He wants to effing finish off the Hellboy trilogy. Where is Hellboy 3? We want Hellboy 3, people. We need it. We want it. We need it. Give it to us. Guillermo del Toro, he's working on 101 different projects, and it says 101% of the projects are happening. What happened to Justice League Dark? What happened to that?
For real. I remember that. That's supposed to be getting done, right?
Yeah, apparently he's come off it. Well, but yeah, even Ron Perlman, he wants Hellboy 3. Hellboy 2 was amazing. So we need some more Hellboy in our lives.
I don't think I've seen. I think I've only seen the first one.
Oh, you need to watch the second one. The second one was amazing. The first one was good. The second one was just like raw. This one was deep.
Wow.
Also, there's some new action figures there's Marvel one. Spider-Gwen has got an action figure. A little action figure announced from the San Diego Comic Con. So, you got Venom, you got Spider-Man, you got Morbius.
Morbius.
He's not going anywhere. He's not going anywhere.
Felicia. Yeah.
So I've got books to talk about. So while I'm talking about my books, maybe there'll be some more live action San Diego Comic Con news. Right. It was quite a huge week for me in terms of reading. I had a lot of catching up. I finally read X-Men 92. I know you were
Yeah,
going on, you're telling me off for not reading it, but yeah, I finally read it. I really enjoyed it. Really, really,
it's
really
good,
enjoyed
isn't it?
it. Yeah, it did. To be honest, it didn't really feel like the cartoon. It felt like the comic. You know, there was the X-Men cartoon comic.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what it felt like. I remember reading those. Remember when we used to go when we were younger? There was like in that little corner shop. They had like magazines, like games magazine. Where we used to pick up our demos, and they used to have comics there. Do you remember?
yeah,
Um, yeah, I remember picking up one of those X-Men comics, and this X-Men 92 comic just felt like a 90s comic that I was reading, basically. And it was just fun. It was a lot of fun. The Shadow King or Shadow Queen um, coming back against Xavier, and, Xavier
he
being
got
defeated.
he got
Yeah,
mash up.
yeah.
He got
And yeah,
destroyed.
and also Cyclops trying to defect against the X-Men or leaving the X-Men. I was like, that's quite random, but I just thought, this is like a nice comic, man. These guys, like, sort of, they got quick or short attention spans where they make a
Yeah,
fast, quick decision. But anyway, Wolverine was probably the best character, and Jubilee was Jubilee. I like Jubilee in the cartoon. I don't know what was wrong with it. I don't know why people didn't like her. But yeah, I finally read it. I caught up on Saga. I read Saga issue. Um,
29.
no, 27. I still got 28 to read. I know, I'm behind. But the 27 one was the Marco sort of flashback or the Marco centered book.
Yeah,
Yeah, you remember that one, right?
yeah,
When he was high. Yeah, that was. I think that's probably one of the best issues I've ever read on Saga. I just gotta say, I'm a huge fan of one of those books where it just centers around one character. And Bragg, when he does this, I mean, when I was reading his Why the Last Man, sometimes he would just have one issue just dedicated to one character and sort of give us as much sort of character background. It just fills our heads with all this information for this one character, and we just get this character, and and we move forward along with this character. So we feel his pain, we feel him growing up. He's always had like a sort of aggressive background, or he's always been sort of like he has this rage about him, and
yeah,
they showed us that he rages for a reason. Like he's one of those people where he's sort of like pure hearted in some extent, where he'll rage for a good reason. He wouldn't rage out of for selfish reasons. So it's just unfortunate that he directs that rage on people who can't really defend themselves. But anyway, it just shows how much Marco is such a in-depth character, and it's very three-dimensional, not just like piece plank of wood like Henry Cavill. But anyway, we didn't see Hazel that much except for in the flashback. We didn't see Alana.
yeah.
Hazel's such a gorgeous baby. Um, but Goose took center stage in this book as well. Yeah, everyone loves Goose. They should make a Goose little toy or a Goose plushie. See, I'm just giving them ideas anyway.
Yeah.
Prince Robot 5 as well. He's an amazing character. So it was fun. It was fun catching up with these characters. I haven't read Saga in a while, so that's why I'm sort of gushing out at the moment. Following on from Brian K. Vaughan, I picked up one of his newest books called We Stand on Guard. That's by Brian K. Vaughan and Steve Scrosky, I believe. I think. So yeah, this book is quite interesting actually. I guess it's interesting because Brian K. Vaughan, I believe his wife is Canadian, but this book is like America versus Canada, where it's like a post-apocalyptic Canada where there was a war waged against Canada from America. Basically, the first pages of the book is set in the future. I guess 20 years in the future from now. No, sorry, 100 years No, my bad. 100 years from now in the future, um, United Nations, the White House has been attacked, and America thinks Canada attacked America. So America launched a full-fledged war against Canada. So this book is basically set where Canada is sort of like in a rubble where it's just post-apocalyptic. You know, like Mad Max, where it's just barren.
Yeah.
There's a lot of snow and everything. There's like little rebel groups, little militia groups, Canadian militia groups fighting against USA. And USA is sort of like an imperialistic empire where they have like huge robots to fight to exterminate Canadians, I guess. And it centers around this character. I guess I can't remember her name. I think her name's Amber. Both her parents were killed by American missiles which attacked Canada, and she's sort of searching for her brother. Now, there's a Canadian militia um, who take her in, and they sort of take her under her wing to fight against or to defend themselves against Americans. And apparently, the Americans are sort of all totalitarian, draconian and totalitarian society that even one soldier is like a scum of the earth, where it's like they have to kill the soldier, but they can't because there's a law where it's that they can't kill someone who's sort of down or without any weapons. So because Amber, which is the main character, she's sort of unknown. No one really knows about her or where she stands. She just wants to look for her brother. They try and get her to do it. So there's a lot of facets in this story where there's something to consider. It's got a lot of well-rounded characters, of course, with Brian K. Vaughan writing it. So it's called We Stand on Guard by Brian K. Vaughan and Steve Skroke. So that's something worth checking out as the first issue for Image Comics. What else did I read? I read Inferno Battle World from Marvel, which is the X-Men based Secret Wars universe or part of the world of Battle World. This book still hasn't finished. How many issues is each tie-in for Battle World?
I'm assuming it's probably gonna be, I reckon maybe 8. Since Secret Wars only 8 issues, I think.
Because I read 3 issues already from this Battle World tie-in. Yeah, I read that. I'm not going to go too much into it because obviously it's not finished. But it's an X-Men based story where I'm a huge fan of Colossus and as well as Ilyana Rasputin, which is Magic. They're both going to be in the Extraordinary X-Men book. So this book is centered around Colossus, Magic, Madeline Pryor, Domino, as well as Havoc. Yeah, the special guest character. But this book is really cool. It's based on Limbo. As we all know, Magic, she's the queen of Limbo, queen of Inferno. So this portion of Battle World has been sort of taken over by demons, by the demon realm, and Magic taking her, I guess, her true self as Darkchild, which is the queen of the underworld. She's sort of and Colossus wants to save Ilyana Rasputin. He wants to save her again. So it's a kind of a sad story, but it's really, really fun because it's just hordes and hordes of demons, and you can see Colossus just weighing them in, you know. So it's a fun romp as well as a kind of like a sad story as well. There's an X-Men story, Inferno. I believe Dennis Hopeless is right. Yeah, Dennis Hopeless is definitely right. I also read Old Man Logan, believe it or not, the first issue. I was really excited from last week. Remember we spoke about Jeff Lemire and Andrea Sorrentino writing Old Man Logan post Secret Wars. So I just thought, let me pick up Old Man Logan Secret Wars by Brian Michael Bendis and Andrea Sorrentino. And Andrea Sorrentino did not disappoint, as well as Brian Michael Bendis. So this book you spoke about it already, so I wouldn't take too much time talking about it. But
Yeah.
yeah, I read it. I enjoyed it. It felt like I was reading the Old Man Logan book, definitely. So yeah, check it out, Old Man Logan. I haven't got issue 2 and 3. I don't know if 3's out yet, but I haven't
No,
got 2.
no, it's not yet. It's not yet.
Yeah, but Andrew Sorrentino's art top class. He's one of my favorite artists. And yeah, I read some DC stuff. I read Justice League of America by um damn it. Anyway, I spoke about that already from last week, the JLA book, where it's yeah, Brian Hitch, he's taken the realms, and this is sort of the fallout of what happened in issue 1, where the Justice League were fighting against Parasite, and Parasite was able to split all the Justice League away from each other. So Rao, the Kryptonian god, came to visit Earth, and he's come to solve all of Earth's problems. So, and Superman, surprisingly, has sort of taken charge of, you know, trying to direct humans to say, look, Rao is good for us. He saved Krypton. Krypton used to be a planet of barbarians, if you guys can remember Superman Birthright. So Rao is here to help us. So it's quite interesting because in the first issue of JLA, Justice League of America, you can see that Rao might not be what's good for humans, but for the most part, this issue 2, it seems like he is, because he's going to, like, his disciples are going all over Earth, solving all the Earth's problems and healing people of cancer and healing people can't see, they can see now. So Earth is really changing at a fast rate due to Rao coming in. And of course, Batman is suspicious of him, and Batman's already taking precautions. And also, Wonder Woman, we don't know what happened to her last issue. We get a really, really funny or really, really weird point where she is. So, yeah, check out Justice League 2. Of course, I recommended it issue 1. This is something that you can't miss. This is a huge blockbuster event for DC. Brian Hitch's Justice League of America. And yeah, I guess that's all the books.
Wow.
I know I read more, but these are the books I really wanted to talk about.
Yeah. Me too, man. Me too. I guess I have to catch up. I've got to do my reading a lot earlier so I can get ready for you guys in this for this podcast, man. But that's pretty much, I guess that's it, really.
Yeah, I guess there'll be more. There's going to be a lot of stuff we're going to talk about next week, because there's going to be San Diego
panels, Fox, DC, and I forgot the other. And also in August we got the Disney Expo, so we'll have loads to speak to you guys about. But next week will be better because all the news will have come out regarding San Diego and everything else regarding San Diego. So we'll have a very, very powerful podcast. There's actually, I've gone over 2 hours already. A lot to speak. A lot.
It was quite big. It's been a big couple of weeks. It's summertime, so you know, guys.
Yeah.
Enjoy your summer, guys.
Yeah, definitely enjoy it, man. We'll see you guys next week.
Yeah, don't forget to check us out on. In fact, yeah, email us any questions, or any comments. Check us out on our Twitter, which is 2 British Nerdz. Also, yeah, our email address is 2BritishNerds@gmail.com. So yeah, guys, make sure you keep in contact with us.
Yeah,
We'd sure love to read your comments.
For real, man.
The show.
We'll talk about anything. Give us your feedback. No feedback is bad feedback. Also, check out my Twitter at CAVA DJ. You know, I'm always constantly tweeting like a crazy person. I'm a Twitter addict. Even when I'm at work, I should be working. I'm on Twitter, so I'm always there, man. Yeah, man. Don't worry, my journey still hasn't finished. I need to find a nice another woman host for our show as well. So I'm still on the lookout for that.
Not just that. I mean, we're also gonna have special guests. Maybe not, you know, known special guests, but you know, it'd be fun to add a little third voice in our little duo.
Yeah, we will. We need to have women in this. We need to have women as I reckon as a permanent member of the podcast, and also we'll have. I've already got two people lined up. Two friends of mine that are based in the States. One of them actually acts. She has her own web TV show coming up on YouTube. Claire, and a friend of mine I speak to on Twitter named Lauren, who basically just is into comics and whatnot. And plus, she's been in San Diego, so we'd love to hear what her experience was at San Diego. So, yeah, man, that's all coming up soon. And some actors and celebrities will be on the show eventually. I promise that. You know, it will happen. But, yeah, man, that's us for today, man.
Yeah, check us out on YouTube as well, Two British Nerdz.
Yeah. Peace out, guys. We'll catch you guys next week.
All right, take care, guys.
Take care. Bye. Bye-bye. Peace. Bye.